Zelda fans, our time is quickly approaching. It has been almost 2 years since the reveal of the revelation. 2 years since the prophecy had been revealed to us. 2 years since the reveal of the Breath of the Wild sequel. Ah yes, we've been waiting quite some time since then. It's been a long, strenuous wait. But with the execution of Super Mario, yes, that's his surname apparently, and with the death of Super Mario and the end of Mario's 35th anniversary, the light of Hylia, the light of Hylia shines once more. I don't know what I'm doing. Let me start off by saying that I'm extremely excited for the Breath of the Wild sequel. So much so that I've been having dreams of playing early copies of the game, like beta versions of the game. And I hardly even dream about video games. In fact, the last time I dreamt about a video game was back when I was in primary school, when I dream about extra areas in Super Mario 64. Areas that weren't in the base game. But that was a given, granted I played that game to the moon and back. I've most certainly played more Super Mario 64 than Smash Ultimate, and I got over 1,000 hours on that bitch. Anyway, back to Zelda. I got some stuff I want to talk about. I got some stuffs to speak about, some news, some juice. But before I share any of this information with you, you gotta promise me not to tell anybody. You in? Okay, good. Now promise me you won't tell nobody. Promise me. Go on, promise me. Promise me. Promise me. You're not promising! Breath of the Wild 2 is dropping relatively soon, and we're gonna be able to play in 4K definition graphics. What the fuck do you mean you already knew?
But Seven, how can you be so confident in saying that? That's such a massive claim.
That's you. That's how you sound like right now. Well, let me tell you. It's because the Switch Pro is real. For such a long time now, we've been hearing rumor after rumor after rumor about the existence of a Switch Pro or a Switch Plus or a Switch 2, from claims that it'll have DLSS technology to claims that it'll be docked only with no portable mode, which is completely fucking stupid by the way, to claims that it'll have a 7-inch OLED screen, which is probably the most plausible rumor to date. But now, or rather since almost a day ago from the making of this video, we've gotten some solid evidence that it exists. In fact, it was practically confirmed by Nintendo themselves. Okay, now I want everybody watching this to pick up the Nintendo Switches right now. I want you to head over to System Settings, scroll all the way down to the last tab, which should be the System tab, and check what update version you're on. If you've updated already, you should be on version numero 12.
But Seven, what does this have to do with Breath of the Wild 2 and 4K capability?
Shut up! I'm getting to it. A Twitter user. Yes. A Twitter user, one that goes by the name of Oatmeal Dome, points out something a little fishy about the 12.0.0 update. I mean, actually it was Mike Heskin that found this out, but I saw Oatmeal's original tweet first, so big ups to Mike too, I guess. Anyway, what Oatmeal discovered was that the 12.0.0 update added a little something something to the mix. It added an internal setting called 4K underscore preferred underscore over underscore USB 30. And you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? Well, I don't fucking know. But it's got 4K in it, so 4K Switch confirmed, let's go baby! Okay, no, for real, this is pretty much confirmation of a 4K Switch model, so if you had any doubts about its existence before, that should all be gone either now or by the end of this video. DP refers to DisplayPort, which is basically like your HDMI port or a port that you use to connect a modern multimedia device to your modern monitor or TV screen. As for the preferred over USB 30 part, I'm kinda clueless, but Oatmeal Dome thinks that this could possibly mean prefer 4K DisplayPort over USB 3.0. And what does that mean? I don't really know, I'm gonna be honest with you. But all you need to know is that 4K is a real thing on the Switch, and it's happening. Like it's happening. It's something that's happening. You don't need to doubt any longer. This, like, I understand that. Oh, the Sony is struggling to do 4K on the PS5 and Xbox and blah 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 blah. Nah. Like the 4K Switch is it's a thing. It's real. There's no doubting that now. It's real. A part of me is kind of confused as to why Nintendo would make this big jump in resolution. Like, I know very few games on Switch that actually run at 1080 720p while docked, but now they suddenly want to play with 4K resolutions. Albeit, it is worth remembering that Nintendo did tell game developers to make their games 4K ready back in around September of 2020. So 4K? Definitely a thing. Probably gonna have 4K resolutions while docked only, obviously, but I do expect them to jump up the power of the internals of the Switch even just by a teensy tiny bit. I just remember this was meant to be a Zelda video and now I'm talking about the next Switch model. Par for the course at this point, I guess. But technically, since we've basically confirmed the 4K Switch, doesn't that confirm 4K Breath of the Wild 2? I think it does. There's some people that are speculating that the Switch Pro or Switch Plus will have exclusive titles, like the new 3DS did. And a couple of people think that these exclusive titles could be Breath of the Wild 2 or that one open world Pokemon game that's coming out soon. But you gotta remember that the Switch is a family of consoles. Every game that you can play on the Switch will work on the Switch Lite. And yes, I know there's games that don't support handheld mode, and for the Lite users, you'll need to cop an additional pair of Joy-Cons because, you know, the Switch Lite doesn't have a docked mode, which really sucks, but those games still work and are compatible with the Lite. There's fully a possibility of the Switch Pro having a very small number of introductory exclusives, like, again, the new Nintendo 3DS had, but I kinda doubt that'll be the case. Now, some of you may have heard that code name for the next Switch model, which was whatever. The codename for the next Switch is rumored or speculated to be AULA, and we already know that CRD or Cradle is the codename for the dock. But why am I bringing this all up? Well, that's because the 12.0.0 Switch update also included a firmware update for the Switch dock, but not the current Switch dock. Oh, no. The AULA Switch docks has shown highlighted here. Is _ CRDA _ FW _ update _ supported, which basically means is the Cradle or dock for the AULA fucking with the update that is to be supported.
What?
And there you have it. I know I didn't do a fantastic job at explaining all of that, but I'll link everything referenced in this video in the description below so you can make a little more sense out of it. This new Switch model, the new dock, 4K capabilities. I feel like this year is going to be a good one. Okay, now we're going back to Zelda. Can you tell I'm not good at structuring my videos? Mr. Nintendo has confirmed that he will be at E3, which isn't really a big deal, except if you recall, Breath of the Wild 2 was announced at 2019's E3.
And I don't know about you, but I think it would be pretty cool if they gave us some more Breath of the Wild goodness on this year's E3.
And besides, Mr. Aonuma did promise us that they'll bless us with more Breath of the Wild 2 information this year. And we deserve it, especially after all of that
Unfortunately, we don't have anything to share right now.
nonsense he gave us. I've never felt so blue-balled in my life. I almost thought he was gonna say it was cancelled while watching it for the first time. I probably would have cried. Hey yo, but let's remember the wise words of Miyamoto. A rushed game is good forever, but a delayed game is... Yes, ladies and fellasmen, it's time. This is the year of Zelda, and this, I believe, is the year of Breath of the Wild 2 in 4K. Or maybe next year. I don't know if the game is actually dropping this year or even if the Switch Pro is dropping this year, but I have my reasons to believe they're dropping this year. I just want to tell want to tell you guys. I don't want to tell you guys this yet, but believe me, I have a gut feeling that it'll drop this year. It has to. I mean, like, the dots are connecting, the stars are aligning, and The sole fact that my zodiac sign is Gemini shows that